Welcome to my Google Maps tour of New York City. Within this tour, I've included various layers to help us find different locations around the city. These layers include historical locations, landmarks, parks and recreation spots, hospitals, museums, and university or colleges. Altogether, they give us around 20 different locations around the city. So let's start with historical locations. If we want to narrow down the map to only include historical locations, we can untick the boxes on the side. As you can see, there are only the historical locations there. We can then retick any of the boxes and filter our results that way. For the purpose of this tour, I'm going to have all locations visible. The historical locations. Let's begin by looking at the City Hall. City Hall is in Lower Manhattan and is found right there. If you click on the name of the icon on the side, like we did before, we clicked on City Hall, it comes up with a tab of information. Included is a photo of the spot, the name, description of the building, the address, and the ability to view it in Google Maps. Included within historical locations also includes the 9/11 Memorial, again found in Lower Manhattan, and the American Stock Exchange Building, which is also found in Lower Manhattan. If we now look at our next layer and look at the landmarks of New York City, we have the Statue of Liberty, which is found over here. We have the Brooklyn Bridge, which is found over here. This links Manhattan towards Brooklyn. We have the Empire State Building, found in central Manhattan towards Times Square, which is in the skyscraper found within the city. It has an observation deck at the top, so you can stand up there and have a look around over the city, and it's apparently amazing. Our final landmark in the city is Times Square. This is found here. Let's move on to parks and recreation spots. To begin with, we've got the main park in New York, Central Park. Our location pin gives us the parks and recreation icon, and this places us right smack bang in the middle of Central Park. We've also got Washington Square Park, which is found down towards Greenwich Village. And now we'll move on to some recreation spots. We've got Madison Square Garden, which is found right near the Empire State Building within central Manhattan. If we move back, we've got Yankee Stadium. This is our furthest north location down towards the Bronx. It is again another sporting venue, home of the New York Yankees baseball team. Let's move on to hospitals. We've got the New York Presbyterian and Lower Manhattan Hospital, found down in Lower Manhattan. We've got the Lenox Hill Hospital, one of the upper class hospitals in the city, found in Central Park. Finally, we've got the Mount Sinai Hospital. It is one of the most famous, oldest and largest teaching hospitals in the United States. We'll move on to museums. We've got 3 museums included in this tour. We've got the Metropolitan Museum of the Metropolitan Museum of Art, which is also known as the Met, one of the most famous buildings in New York City, where the Met Ball is held every year. We've got the New York City Fire Museum, down towards Lower Manhattan and near the 9/11 Memorial, which is very relevant as the New York City Fire Department played a huge role in trying to fight and rescue people during the terrorist attacks at the 9/11. And finally, we've got the American Museum of Natural History. The museum, which was made famous by the Ben Stiller films, Night at the Museum. We'll move on to universities and colleges, which is our final layer of this tour. New York University, also known as NYU, is found down towards Greenwich Village in Lower Manhattan. It is also one of the subway stops upon the subway in New York City. We've got Columbia University, which is found north of Central Park, moving up towards Harlem, as you can see here. This is also a private institution in New York and is an Ivy League school. Our final location is the Juilliard School. This is found within the Lincoln Center for Performing Arts and is found near Central Park. It's also known as the Juilliard and is a music performing arts school, focus school. We can move on to directions now. We include some driving directions from Columbia University down towards New York University or NYU. We include riding directions, so on a bicycle, directions from the Brooklyn Bridge down at point A to point B at the Empire State Building. And finally, we've got walking directions from the American Museum of Natural History towards the Metropolitan Museum of Art. This walk takes us through, as we can see, through Central Park. We also have a directional line, which shows us the direction from Central Park down to Times Square. If we include all of these items in our tour, this is what our tour looks like. Our furthest south point is the Statue of Liberty, and our furthest north point is Yankee Stadium. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed my Google Maps tour of New York City.